Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys checking today's video out and spending some time with me. And today, guys, we're going to go over the lure that Brandon Palaniuk just won the Bassmaster Elite Series tournament at Lake Okeechobee on. It was a lure that accounted for a lot of his big fish. This is a Megabass lure that you've probably never seen or never heard before. I've been fishing it now for probably 4 or 5 years, and guys, when you get the right situation, this thing is a freaking incredible bait for big fish, as you can see from Brandon catching those 9-pounders on it. So we're going to get into that in today's video. Also, guys, just a quick invitation before we get started. Anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, you can do so by going to my Facebook page, Randy Blockett Professional Angler, and just shoot me a private message. I can get you all lined out with the info for that. And also, guys, I'd just like to invite everybody to please hit that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. We're really trying hard to reach 150,000 subscribers, and much appreciated your help with that. Okay, guys, here it is. I'll share it off the bat. This is the Megabass Big M 4.0. This is a big freaking crankbait. It's almost 6 inches long. This is what Brandon caught a bunch of those hogs on it down at Lake Okeechobee. And guys, I don't understand why this thing has not become just a viral bait, because it is a big fish catching bait when you get in the right situations. And the uniqueness about this, number one, is the size. It's got a really, really cool profile on it. And it's got what is called this wobbling roll action. It's got a pretty wide wobble to the thing, but it sort of like goes across like that. The action on the thing is incredible. It casts a mile. You can cast it in super high winds, and it's really angler friendly. It doesn't fight you all the way back to the boat. But guys, the way that this thing looks in the water, it's a big bait, but it looks like a big dang gizzard shad in the water. And that's what those fish feed on this time of year during the pre-spawn. The Big M 4.0, that all the fish that I've caught on it, it's been in the pre-spawn. This right here, guys, I'm gonna describe the conditions. We'll talk about the tackle to throw it on. And you know, if you get that, you definitely need to try it. Also, guys, I'll link this in my tackle warehouse link in the description. If you guys want to pick up 1 or 2 of them, if you use that link, it's a good way to help the channel. They got a bunch of good colors, but this is probably the one I've done the best on right here. Just depends on your water clarity. Okay, first of all, this is a big bait. It weighs a couple ounces, so you got to throw it on big tackle. Most of the time, I throw this on my flipping stick, simply because I can handle it better. I can make a long cast with it. It's got big hooks on it, really big hooks. So when you get a bite on the thing, this isn't a finessey bait. You have to power these fish. So you got to figure if a 4 or 5 pound bass comes up and hits this thing, that's a big chunk. I got big hands, and this thing, you know, it's as big as my hand. So when a 4 or 5 pounder comes up and gets that thing, you got to drive this thing home hard to get these big hooks penetrated. So that's why I use the flipping stick, that Megabass Alkali's flipping stick. And most of the time I use it on anywhere between 17 to 25 pound test Seaguar and Vizex line. It'll on 20 pound line, they like to throw it'll on a long cast, you can get it down to 4 or 5 feet, which is a perfect depth zone for those pre-spawn fish. Most of the time, I like to fish this thing with a fairly fast stop and go retrieve. One of the things about the Megabass Big M 4.0, it's such a large bait that you do not want the fish to get a good look at it, even if that water temperature is a little bit cooler like it is in the pre-spawn. So the way that I like to fish it is I throw it out there, I point the rod tip straight at the bait, and I'm using a fast stop and go retrieve like that. Even, like I said, even if the water's in the 50s, that's sort of what you have to do to generate that strike from this large profile. Okay, so let's talk about, you know, where you want to fish this and the conditions. The best success you're going to have it are on the lakes that have big fish in it. Anytime you throw a big bait like this or a glide bait, if the lake that you have does not have a decent population of 4 pound fish in it, probably not going to be that good. So you got to have those lakes that have some good fish in it. You know, all the lakes down south, obviously, the Tennessee River lakes can be good. Anywhere where there's some quality fish, this is going to work. And also, you got to have the right weather conditions. This bait right here is a nasty day prefrontal bait. You're not going to catch much on this thing if, you know, after a front, or if it's a bluebird day, you know, or, you know, fishing conditions are tough. You got to have those days where the wind's blowing and it's cloudy for the most part. I'm not saying you can't catch them in other conditions, but this is what makes it conducive. Clouds, wind, preferably rain. And water visibility is anywhere between, say, 2 to 3 feet is perfect. I haven't done that good on it on anything over 3 foot clarity, and I haven't done that good on it on anything under 2 foot clarity. Sort of that 2 to 3 foot window is perfect. So here's the ideal situation, what you need to look for. If you get a day in March or April where the water temperature is 50 to 60 degrees, it's cloudy, it's rainy, windy, fairly warm out, that's the condition you want to throw this. Those are the conditions that are going to make those fish actually commit to a bait this big and bite it. And when I get those conditions, I'm always trying to throw this thing for sure. The areas that you fish it in, it just depends on your lake. It's like this is a really good bait to fish over the top of the grass. If you got submergent grass, milfoil, hydrilla, fishing it over the top of it's going to be really productive. But other than that, it's a rock bait for me. I don't fish it around. I don't try to bounce it off of wood targets. I'll throw it on riprap banks. I'll throw it on bluff banks, on channel banks, gravel banks, any type of bank that has rock on it, that has some type of proximity to deeper water. Since you're after big ones, you're going to do a lot better if you fish those rocky banks that are fairly close to deep water, that have a fairly decent drop to them. This isn't a bait you fish on flat banks. But the best thing that I've done on them, guys, are bluffy, steep, rocky banks. Just parallel them, make long casts with that. So anyway, guys, it's situational. This is one of those baits that you need to have in your box if you do get the right situation. This isn't something you tie on every day, but you get the right situations, and you catch big ones, just like you watch Brandon Palaniuk down at Okechobee catch some big fish on it down there. So anyway, link in the description to the thing if you want to try it, guys. I appreciate it. We'll talk later.